You ease your body down into the surprisingly cool water. Having decided to go for a swim, you found you could not help but immerse yourself even further into the Scorian culture. Enjoying some spirits of which you have no idea of the contents or what it's made of, for the first time since landing in Esce, you feel at ease. The purple lady that invited you for a swim slid down next to you. The Scorian people were far more comfortable being undressed than anyone from the north, but you decided to follow suit, soaked naked in the water. You discovered her name was Melaleuca, and she seemed very interested in the city of Soror. The red who had also joined you was named Caster. Generally speaking, Scorians were not overly concerned with the outside world, so you were skeptical of their questions. You decided to let it go, as the unknown spirits you were drinking and coolness of the water calmed you. Melaleuca sidled up to you as the evening drew on, and it seems her curiosity at least was not for the outside world, but its people. The festive nature of the evening was abruptly pulled to a halt as another red-garbed man, still fully clothed, approached you. He spat a word you'd not heard before, but the tone made no mistake, he was insulting you. Your guide quickly walked up to the man to try and calm him down. The red struck him across the jaw, hard. Two things shocked you in that moment. The first was just how well your guide took the blow across the face, turning with the impact. The second was just how quickly and willing you were to jump to his aid. The guide held out a hand, seeing your sudden movement, and smiled. He turned to the red man. "Do not bring Diahade into this space." Every other Escan stood, seemingly ready to act against the red. You were not sure exactly what the Scorian had done to have every member face against him in the defense of a blue and a foreigner's honor, but things were moving very quickly.
"I demand honor. This man taints the very Scorian grounds he walks on."
The red points at you directly. You are not entirely sure what you have done to upset him, but you are very glad your guide was still about. "The city you are from is almost as foreign to our ways as this pale-skinned man," the guide retorted. "If you want honor, you will have to earn it. In the traditional way." The red scowled at him, looking ready to hit the guide again, but all the Escan natives staring him down gave him pause.
"A foreigner is not usually afforded the right of honor combat."
"Welcome to Esce, my friend." You could not help but smile as the guide said the word friend with the same level of derision he had greeted you with when you first arrived. The red stormed off and the guide indicated for you to come to him. You gathered your belongings and went with him, and he starts to walk you back to your lodgings. "I am sorry, foreigner, but tomorrow you will have to fight." You look aghast and try to profess you are a simple trading merchant, but he dismisses that out of hand. "You hid your dagger well, my friend, but not well enough, and the way you carry your body when you walk indicates a control only learnt through fighting." He goes on to explain further that tomorrow you will have to meet him at the fighting grounds. He gives you what he says is a sedative that will help you sleep and should give you a clear head in the morning. "It is very expensive," he says seriously. You thank him and go to your bed, surprised at how easily you nod off, considering that you are likely to face a death sentence in the morning. When you wake, you feel refreshed and absent of any of the after effects you would expect from consuming so much alcohol. The guide's son is there to greet you with food and take you to the fighting grounds. The choice to run from this situation did not seem a prudent one, as you would no doubt it would offend the people of Esce and possibly mean your death anyway. "Better to die trying," you say to yourself. The boy smiles and nods. True to his word, the guide is there to greet you. You look well. He hands you a dagger that is far superior to your own. It is not overly ornate in any fashion, but is balanced beautifully. It has some strange etchings on the hilt and is sharp to the touch. "I am glad you are not stupid enough to put on some armor. It is far too hot for that nonsense. Keep your feet. He will tire." With that, he pushes you into the fighting grounds. You are amazed at the lack of ceremony to the whole event. This was a fight to the death after all. There was a crowd, but no fanfare, no introductions of the combatants. Just a heap of Scorians of all colours here to watch a foreign man die for an offence he did not understand. They were all smiling and drinking and laughing. The Red was standing in the centre, and you were surprised to see he was carrying a staff. This meant he had even greater reach and size on you. He had little time to ponder strategy, however, because as soon as you had made your way towards the middle, he charged. His staff spinning in his hands, he swung it for your head. You ducked and rolled away. He was not expecting you to survive that first swing and had grossly underestimated you. As you rolled to the side, you slid your dagger across his thigh with an opportunistic strike. It was not a wound that would do any real harm, but any hit you got on this red man was going to be vital. You were shocked to feel the knife in your hand heat up and a surge of adrenaline coursed through your body. Time slowed in that moment, and as the Red swung back to strike you with his staff, albeit with far more caution this time, it felt like he was moving lethargically. By no means was this man not dangerous. A single blow from his weapon would no doubt lay you low. You fend off the strike, angling your body in a way that even though the staff had made contact with your shoulder, it was in a rolling fashion that pushed its momentum away and forced the Red man to stumble slightly as he was expecting to make contact with your body again. Like an angry wasp, your knife darts in and slices the man's shoulder deeply, and you feel another rush of warmth and another shot of adrenaline. Now it feels like a training drill. You have no idea how, but as the Red man attacks with obvious skill and grace, you are simply too quick. His attempts to batter you become weaker and slower. In an act of desperation, he goes for a critical all-or-nothing blow, striking at your face. You easily step aside and drive the pommel of your dagger into his nose with a force you did not know you were capable of. The whole arena hears the crunch of the man's face as he drops to the ground. They cheer dramatically at the outcome. The Red man is not moving and lay unconscious on the ground. Your guide approaches you as the fight is clearly now over and congratulates you on your win. "Could I please have my dagger back?" Without thinking, you give the guide his weapon. As soon as it leaves your hand, exhaustion overwhelms you and you start to stumble. The guide was ready for this response and holds on to you. "Do not ask questions of the weapon," he whispers to you. "Why did you help me?" you manage to ask. "I told you. A Red cannot just go and bludgeon a blue for a cheaper piece of bread. And now look." He gestures to the Red still lying lifeless on the ground. "He has nothing to eat." Despite yourself, you can't help but smile as you lean on your guide for support, the exhaustion of the combat now heavy on your muscles and mind. He says to you, "You have a decision to make, my friend." The word has never seemed more genuine than in this moment. "His life is yours. You can spare it, or you can have him killed." Thank you for watching, everyone. Your choice for this video is to spare the Red man's life or to kill him off. As always, please leave your answers in the comments below as we continue the Choose Your Own Adventure story. I look forward to seeing the outcome and sharing the next video with you all.